What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Stardust here. Welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. Today, we are going through a Captain America tank build for the raid, for the OLT. It works beautifully in literally everything. Full disclosure though, if you want to smash the super adapter with this build, that build is so ranged orientated, it'd be very difficult for me to sit here and tell you can smash a super adaptoid, but I can guarantee that you'll get through the OLT really easily. Besides the super adaptoid and the raid, it has Sonic on it, which is one of the things Brian Wagner, system designer in Avengers, said is very important, and it does, you know, it works, it does inflict the damage on the enemy, and it's also, you know, really good survivability on it. So let's go into it. I have Brutal here, I have Synthoids here, I have Size 5, let's do this. So, you're probably wondering, Stardust, why are you wearing that atrocious skin? Now, there is genuinely a reason for this that I'll get into very soon. So, there you go. So, that's the reason right there, right? Jarvis barrier. That, my friends, is how you're going to absolutely smash this raid, smash the OLT. And if you've noticed, you know, being able to run around with a Jarvis barrier kind of gives you that level of confidence to be able to do this and be able to apply that Sonic status, which is very good, obviously, to get your heroics up, to get that intrinsic up, you know, and just sort of, you know, just do damage in general. Like, I haven't done my normal light power attacks because it's incredibly unnecessary. And once I've done this, you know, this wave, I will show you guys exactly how to do this. Now, it works for every single enemy type in the game. I know that most of the time when I do these build videos, I only show the Synthoids. That's just because they're like the toughest, the basic enemy in the game. And obviously, that's kind of like, you know, if you can kill them, you're doing all right. But you can, you know, you can destroy any single enemy in this game with this build. And it's also, you know, it's great. Like, it's a good thing to have. It's good to be able to apply Sonic. It's good to be able to apply status on Captain America for starters. So we've done that takedown there. Let me reset the harm room so we can go through the stuff a little bit. So the reason I said to choose an, you know, the reason I'm wearing this outfit is because I recommend choosing an outfit you don't like. Now let me explain why. Because every single gear piece, besides this one here, has Jarvis barrier on it. And we all know what Jarvis barrier is like, alright? You can't see nothing. So, in my opinion, it's beneficial to just wear something that you're not bothered not seeing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through the gear, go through the skill tree, as always, and then, you know, send it off to you guys. So, the very first gear piece is Faultless Buff inserts that you get from the Wakanda region. Here comes the pain, definitely coming in to work here. So, Faultless Buff, 24.6% chance critical attacks grant a damage buff, power attacks inflict sonic damage, and then the other perk is pretty irrelevant with that. Resilience 48, proficiency 48, and might 54. Now, the reason that this is so good is because, like, you know, literally we're a melee build, right? Of course, Faultless Buff is going to be important, and obviously that power attacks inflicting Sonic is also important as well. It allows me to just be able to smash it, really, you know what I mean? Like, just literally be able to get those heroics back even faster. So the next piece we've got is Jarvis Pinpoint Barrier, Might 59, Resolve 64. For anyone wondering, by the way, and panicking, you can get all these from DNA chests, so don't think, oh shit, I've got to run LAS a bunch of times. You know, you can get it from DNA chest. Attack on Anomaly event on the individual chains is giving Jarvis barrier gear, so you can literally do this build right now if you wanted to. So targeted Jarvis barrier, 21.2% chance when hitting an enemy with the ranged critical attack to activate a Jarvis barrier. Now, it doesn't really matter about the status, obviously, and, you know, increased critical chance for a heavy combo finisher doesn't matter either, but the stats are very good. Then we move on to this one. Chance when taking damage to activate a Jarvis barrier, and we've got a good few stats there. Good bit of intensity, which is, as always, very important. And then we've got Valor 64, Might 68, increases charge rate of heroic assault ability. The Cosmic one doesn't matter, and then chance when defeating enemies to activate a Jarvis barrier. If you guys have noticed, this is Jarvis barrier carries the build. Now, the reason I say that, and the reason that's so important, is because without it, stuff like this wouldn't be nearly as good. Stuff like this, you wouldn't have that confidence, right? Because as we know in Marvel's Avengers, melee struggles big time. So if I go and try and do power attacks on an enemy, whether it's in the raid, whether it's in the OLT, I will get stopped. That's a fact, right? Whereas in the OLT, for example, when you're always losing health, this one comes in handy. In the raid, I imagine that these two will come in handy. You know what I mean? You can always activate Jarvis barrier with that one and then go to town. It's so important that in these missions, if you want to do a melee build, you have something that can protect you when going into it. I said this with the Clint build that I did, that, you know, because it was on his ranged, it absolutely is vital that if you want to have fun, do a melee build, you've got to have sort of protection when doing it. So, let's go into skills right here. So, I've got triggering Rally Cry grants a defensive buff that reduces damage by 25% for all nearby strike team members. Now, you could always go for the taunt, because obviously, you know, I'm wanting to be a tank, which you definitely can. You can totally do that. But I think that for the, you know, the case of like wanting to be defensive, wanting to kind of help your team, this one's always nice. Remember, you're going to be getting heroics a lot with this build, so I think that that would probably be beneficial. These two don't really matter. I would say that probably like that one matters of any of them, right? You know, on the like the little flying drones and stuff like that, the weaker enemies. While Brooklyn Brawler is active, takedowns can be performed on critically wounded enemies. Pretty much the go-to when it comes to Captain America melee builds, I would say. And then for this one, we've got grants 25% more energy to Brooklyn Brawler when collecting heroic orbs. I know some people like to go for this one, but when you think about it, when you're in kind of like a raid format, and I would say where the enemies aren't exactly like, you know, they're not weak enough to the point where you can just start bouncing between enemies to, like, do these takedowns. I definitely think this one's probably going to be more beneficial to everyone. And then for this one, we've got increases the stun damage of all attacks. Obviously, you want to be doing a lot of takedowns, you know what I mean? And, you know, include that with Sonic. You're going to be doing that. You're going to be doing a lot of takedowns. But I figured, like, why not add to that, right? And then here we've got boosts heroic charge speed by 1% when dealing damage with either light or heavy attacks. This is, you know, again, it's simple as, like, if you realize the heroic charge is, like, so close to being done, punching an enemy a bunch will get that up, so that's always nice. Forming a takedown, force an enemy to drop a heroic orb. I told you guys, in every single build I've done thus far, this, right? You don't not do this. Like, it's as simple as that. Range doesn't matter at all. And then when we get to these parts, it really doesn't matter either. Like, I know that, you know, a lot of people will go through these individually. Personally, for me, never took time to look at these. That's just me. That honestly, like, I've never gone through each one and gone, oh wow, that's great. Just simply because it's like they're sort of, they don't really matter, to be honest. Like, you know, you could get a few defensive different pieces up here, but realistically, it's not important. So, with that in mind, folks, I won't bother showing the champion skills, just simply because I haven't optimized it to a proper place it should be. You know what I mean? So, basically, but what I would recommend, though, if you were going to do it, so, like, for example, I'm not going to show mine because it's all over the place, I would recommend putting it in kind of like, you know, these sort of two right here, you know, this kind of area, the tactical boosts, and if you want to boost up your defense as well, then yeah, you could definitely work on that. But realistically, you won't be taking a lot of damage when you're covered in Jarvis barrier either, so that's kind of a way to look at it. So with that in mind, let's go through it again this time, and now that you guys know exactly what's on this gear piece, you'll know that you'll know exactly what I'm striving for. You could always put the Tactagon if you find yourself absolutely, like, you know, draining with status effects, with orbs, sorry. But I would just recommend, just better to be safe than sorry, because you're going to get status a lot anyway. So it's not really something that you absolutely need. Whereas, like, a ring's going to be way more important, I would say. Especially, to be fair, with the Ring of Nebulon, that's a pretty, like, big Captain America staple, which is why I would also recommend that. What was that? That was sick. That was new. Sorry. I got excited. There you go. And then I'll do that, just because that's really fun. And there you go. So that is the Captain America melee tank build. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these sort of videos here on the channel. Make sure to drop a like. Make sure to drop a sub and all that beautiful stuff. And I will see you guys in a bit. Peace.